Asterisk wife returned. You're my soulmate. I said ex used you and ghosted? Her face said everything. Asterisk. The bedroom smelled of her lavender perfume, sharp and cloying, like a memory that refused to fade. I stood frozen, staring at the suitcase she dropped by the door, its zipper glinting under the dim glow of our bedside lamp. My wife Elise stood there too, her eyes wide with a feverish shine, her lips trembling as she whispered, "You're my soulmate, Tom. I'm back. For good." Her voice cracked a desperate plea, but it was the suitcase, half open, spilling a stranger's shirt, that sent a jolt through my chest, like a knife twisting in a wound I didn't know I had. 6 months ago she'd left. No warning, just a note on the kitchen counter. I need to find myself. I'm sorry. I'd spent weeks replaying our last moments, her distracted smiles, the way her phone buzzed at 2 a.m., her excuses about work trips. I'd rationalized it all: stress, midlife crisis, anything but the truth that now stared me in the face. That shirt, navy blue, too large for me, too wrong for this house. My pulse hammered in my ears, drowning out her words as she stepped closer, her hands reaching for mine. "Tom, please," she said, her voice soft but frayed, like a rope about to snap. "I made a mistake. I was lost, but I'm here now. I love you." I pulled my hands back, the air between us thick with unspoken questions. The room felt smaller, the walls pressing in, the hum of the heater a low growl in the silence. "Where were you?" I asked, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. 6 months, Elise. Not a call, not a text. And now you're back, saying I'm your soulmate. The word tasted bitter, like ash on my tongue. Her face faltered, a flicker of something: guilt? Fear? Crossing her eyes before she masked it with a smile. "I was figuring things out. I stayed with a friend, that's all." Her fingers twisted the hem of her sweater, a nervous tick I hadn't seen in years. The suitcase gaped behind her, that shirt screaming louder than her words. "A friend," I repeated, my gaze locking on hers. "Whose shirt is that?" Her breath hitched, a small sound, but it was enough. My stomach churned, a mix of dread and fury rising like bile. I wanted her to lie, to give me something to cling to, but her silence was a confession. The air grew heavy, charged with the weight of what she wouldn't say. I stepped toward the suitcase, my hands shaking as I reached for the shirt. It was soft, worn, smelling faintly of cedar and smoke, someone else's life. "Tom, don't," she whispered, her voice breaking. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me." I snapped, louder than I meant, the shirt crumpled in my fist. "Tell me why you left, why you're back, why this," I shook the shirt, "is in our house." My heart pounded, torn between wanting her to explain and fearing the truth. I'd loved her for 10 years, built a life on her laughter, her quirks, the way she hummed off-key in the shower. But now every memory felt like a lie. She sank onto the bed, her shoulders slumping, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "It was him," she said finally, her voice barely audible. "Ryan. My ex. I ran into him at a conference. He said he missed me, that he'd changed. I thought I needed to know if I'd made the right choice, staying with you." The name hit like a punch. Ryan, her college boyfriend, the one she'd called toxic years ago. The one I'd never worried about because she'd sworn he was history. My mind raced, piecing together fragments. Her late nights, the locked phone, the way she'd stopped wearing her wedding ring for comfort. I'd dismissed it all, blinded by trust. Now the room spun, the walls blurring as her words sank in. "He used you," I said, my voice low, venomous. "He used you and ghosted, didn't he?" It was a guess, but her face, pale, lips parted, eyes wide with shame, said everything. The truth clawed at me, raw and jagged, tearing through the hope I'd clung to. "You left me for him and he left you. So you came crawling back." "Tom, no," she cried, standing now, her hands outstretched. "It wasn't like that. I realized I love you, that you're my home. Ryan was a mistake, a stupid, selfish mistake. I'm begging you to forgive me." Her words hung there, fragile, desperate. I wanted to believe her, to pull her into my arms and erase the last 6 months. But the shirt in my hand, the scent of another man, the betrayal etched into her silence, it was too much. My chest ached, a hollow, gnawing pain as love and anger waged war inside me. How could I trust her again? How could I trust myself when I'd ignored every warning sign? The room was suffocating, the lavender scent now sickening. I dropped the shirt, my hands trembling, and stepped back. You broke us, I said, my voice cracking. You chose him over me, over everything we had. And now you expect me to just forget. Her sobs filled the silence, raw and guttural, but they didn't reach me. I saw her then not as my wife but as a stranger, her choices a mirror reflecting my own failures, my blindness, my denial. The suitcase sat there, a symbol of her betrayal, and I realized I couldn't stay in this room, this house, this life we'd built on lies. I need time, I said, turning toward the door, my voice barely a whisper. I don't know if I can do this. Tom, please, she called, but I was already moving, the floorboards creaking under my feet, the air cold against my skin. As I stepped outside, the night swallowed me, the stars indifferent above. I didn't know where I was going, only that I couldn't go back, not yet, maybe not ever. The truth was a wound, bleeding and raw, and the twist wasn't her betrayal, but the realization that I'd betrayed myself, loving someone who'd stopped loving me long before she left.